Bitcoiners, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Micheal Saylor, the visionary who turned Bitcoin into a corporate treasure chest, is back with a bold prediction for 2025 that could change everything you thought you knew about this digital asset. From MicroStrategy's groundbreaking Bitcoin strategy to his relentless advocacy for its adoption, Saylor has been a guiding light for Bitcoin enthusiasts and skeptics alike. Now, he's revealing why 2025 could be a pivotal year. And trust me, this is something every Bitcoin holder needs to hear. Saylor also speaks about the hope that Bitcoin brings to the world for 8 billion people. Whether you own a fraction of a coin or a fortune, what Saylor has to say could redefine your strategy and your financial future. But before we dive into these game-changing insights, do us a quick favor. Smash that like button, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to stay on top of the latest in the crypto world. Let's get started.
I think that Bitcoin is emerging as the world's reserve capital network. It is the dominant capital network of the world. So the dollar is the world's reserve currency. And you recall, I said money is currency of its short-term medium exchange. It's capital of its long-term store of value. And if I wanted to send $1 billion from one point on the earth to the other, right? The choice is ship $1 billion of gold, move $1 billion building, or send Bitcoin, or send $1 billion of paintings. You can see paintings aren't fungible. They don't make good money. A building isn't portable. It doesn't make good money. Gold, gold failed as a capital network 400 years ago when the King of Spain tried to send a bunch of gold to the Netherlands to finance his army. It got blocked by Queen Elizabeth. She bankrupted the Spanish army, and that's why the Netherlands is Protestant and not Catholic today. So it's pretty obvious. Bitcoin is a great capital network, and it's a great capital asset. It makes sense for the U.S. to own it, because if the U.S. owns that capital network, then anybody that wants to sell their Russian real estate or their Chinese natural gas fields is going to buy Bitcoin. So if you know where everybody's going, if you know everybody in the rest of the world is going to Bitcoin, and if you know everybody in the 20th century is going to trade their 20th century assets for 21st century assets, you might as well buy a big chunk of the network so that when they get there, you're the beneficiary of it. And I think Trump is a pretty good business person, and this is an economic brilliant stroke. So I think that they get it, they understand it, and we will see the U.S. Move very, very aggressively into Bitcoin at some point in time.
Do you think it's important? You're worth maybe $10 billion. Do you think a big part of your success has been a disciplined daily routine?
I think a lot of different routines work for different people. It depends on your culture and where you live. But right now, my daily routine would be to be up with the sunlight. So when the sun rises, I'm moving. Make sure I start the day with a bit of exercise. Then study and absorb what's going on in the marketplace, and then start to engage. And I've got a bunch of business, projects and activities I'm always working on, and then I've got a bunch of communication. So I think that if you combine that with focus, I would say the principles of success are, focus, figure out what you're going to do. I think it's more important. The world wants you to be really good at something. It doesn't want you to be decent at 100 different things. And I think that, and I don't think the world wants my opinion on the 99 other things. If you're not the foremost expert on the one thing, and if you're the top 0.1% on 100 things, well, that means there's like 10,000 people that have a better insight than you have. That makes you number 9,999. And the world is getting to the point where it really wants to go to the opinion of the top 1, 2, it might take 3 opinions, Maybe it can deal with 3 or 4 opinions. It doesn't care about the opinion of the 9,000th best person in something, and we're all talking to each other. So I think laser-like focus on what you're doing, and my general view is you can discuss 100 things with your circle of trust, your friends and your family. You can engage in 10 things, as part of your vocation to make a living, but you ought to speak about one thing. Right? I focus upon what is it the world needs to know about this one thing that I'm focused on. And I stay in my lane and I let other people be the experts on all of the other things, because the world's a big place. It's very complicated. And I don't want to dilute my message, distract my followers, or dissipate my energy.
You attribute some of your success to mentors and reading?
Well, I would start to preface this with, you can learn anything on the internet. And once you decide that you want to learn something and you go and you start to Google it, or you start to Google on YouTube, and you start to search on X or other platforms, and you start to engage, you'll find a lot of expertise and a lot of resources. So I definitely did a lot of research, but off the top of my head, some of the key inspirations are the Bitcoin Standard, which is an excellent book written by Seyfuddin Ammous. A lot of work by Andreas Antonopoulos, on the Internet of Money, I thought was very good. The Bullish Case for Bitcoin, a lot of papers on Bitcoin by early OGs, and then start to speed watch all of the Bitcoin podcasts, and then start to dig into all the literature. I mean, there's, eventually I end up, going through 4, 5, 6 different courses on Bitcoin and watching thousands of hours, or consuming thousands of hours of content. But if someone were to ask the question, how do I come up to speed on Bitcoin? I would say, just remember Bitcoin is hope, and type in HOPE, go to hope.com, that's my website. And on my website, I have books, papers, courses, videos, all sorts of leaders, and you can certainly sift through that and find materials. And in the absence of that, go to YouTube and just start Googling, and then find the most popular videos, and a lot's been said. I think once you're focused on it, you'll actually take away what you need to know about the subject.
Do you think there's something to that if there is a universal hope that this Bitcoin, we use it in China, we use it in Nigeria, we use it in Los Angeles, that it actually brings people together more than just a greedy way to make money?
I think that Bitcoin is an enlightened and peaceful way to settle our differences on a global basis. I think that it, in a way, it demonetizes the incentives for war. If a nation has the majority of its assets in land, you can simply take the land. But if a nation has the majority of its assets in Bitcoin, no amount of violence will allow you to seize their property, because it's in cyberspace. So when your property is in your head or in your private possession, there's an incentive for hostile actors to negotiate with you. Whereas, if all your wealth was literally a bar of gold, I could just shoot you and take the bar of gold. I could even bomb your house and take the gold. The gold doesn't get destroyed. So I think that that digital property is a much better, a more secure idea than physical property. I also think that there's $900 trillion of wealth in the world, and half of it is in assets people hold. They hold it for some utility, like they want to use the house or the boat or the warehouse. But the other half of the wealth is just store of value. People just want to preserve their capital for long periods of time without degradation. So Bitcoin's a $2 trillion asset class. There's 450 trillion of physical and financial assets that are 20th century assets. Those assets are degrading due to war, due to inflation, due to entropy, due to chaos. due to competition, due to weather. The cost of that is like 3% a year. So 3% of 450 trillion is 13, 14 trillion dollars a year of just environmental destruction. So as you transform wealth from analog form and physical form to digital form, you avoid and eliminate a lot of misery and anxiety and tragedy. And so Bitcoin is solving the problem of just giving us a more efficient way to preserve our economic energy forever. And if you think about a family, if I say to you as the head of a household, you're financially secure, you have enough money to provide for your family now and for the next 4 generations, whatever they might need. And then I say, well, how does that make you feel? And the answer is, I can take the long view and I can plan for my grandchild's college education, and if I said to you, well, you've got all your money in a bank, the bank just froze your assets, you won't be able to get it out. I'm not sure, you're gonna have to leave your house on Monday and I don't know how you're gonna eat, figure it out. Think about how that affects your mindset. And so I think that economic security has an impact on your mental health, your physical health, your your economic welfare, and then also your time horizon. And the really beautiful things in humanity, whether they're Notre Dame or whether they're a park or whether they're a great scientific invention, they're made by people that were economically secure, that could take a long view of things. And Bitcoin provides that foundation to build a better civilization.
And there you have it, Micheal Saylor's bold vision for Bitcoin in 2025 and why this digital asset is poised to redefine the financial world as we know it. From corporate adoption to global policies and Bitcoin's unmatched scarcity, the pieces of this financial revolution are falling into place. What do you think? Are we on the brink of a Bitcoin explosion, or is the best yet to come? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you found this discussion insightful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with fellow crypto enthusiasts, and subscribe to the channel for more thought-provoking insights like this. Your support doesn't just help us grow, it fuels the conversations that drive this incredible community forward. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.